Hello and welcome back to Witches of the Moon. I'm Eva Maria, your Monday hostess, and this week's topic is the selling of magical services. I will be linking in the description of this video my own video for a topic that we covered several weeks ago. We had a week where we discussed how one might be able to tell an honest spiritual worker from less honest spiritual workers, and or spiritual or magical practitioners and or readers as well. But I'm going to be linking that video in the description of this one because I feel that that weekly topic sort of ties into this one. So if you have not had the opportunity to watch that video, or if you for whatever reason missed that week, I do suggest that you go down to the description of this one after, of this video, after you've watched this video, and maybe check that out, because I do feel that that's another aspect of this weekly topic. It does sort of elaborate in another direction that is relevant to what we're talking about this week. Now, I do know as well that the selling of magical services can be, to a degree, a bit controversial. There are people that are opposed to the selling of magical services, and there are people that are perfectly fine with it. I personally do believe that the selling of magical services, it can, these have a place within the spiritual and magical community. I feel that provided that the services sold are made available by people that are, well equipped to offer such services, and if the people providing such services, if they are very confident in their ability to consistently provide quality services, and if they do genuinely care about their clientele, I think that the services they offer can be of great benefit to many people. I feel personally that while some people might feel that something that is inherently human, that we all have the potential ability to do, some people believe that things like that shouldn't be for sale. And I respect and understand, that point of view, sort of that line of thinking. But I kind of liken magical services for sale to, for example, in a mundane sense, house painters, for hire. Obviously, we all have the potential ability to pick up a paintbrush and a can of paint and paint our own houses. But there are some among us who, for whatever reason, we may not have time, we may not have the ability to, focus, or, we may have just a lot going on, or, maybe we just, for whatever reason, we don't have confidence in our abilities, or maybe we just would much prefer that someone else who is skilled in a particular area, maybe we might just feel that we'd much rather hire some such person to help us out with a situation or situations. And so I do feel there is a place for the selling of magical services. And I also understand too, there are some among us who are perfectly fine with, the sale of magical goods, and yet they are opposed to the sale of magical services. And that perplexes me a little bit. I feel that such people might maybe want to take a look at why goods, in their opinion, in their view, are okay for sale, but services are not. Why would it be okay to, for example, sell a pendulum or a rune set or a pack of tarot cards, but then suddenly when a reading is for sale, that is not, why is that not okay? I could be wrong, but to a degree I suspect that this phenomena of some people being okay with magical goods but not okay with magical services for sale, maybe this has something to do with some influence from our largely capitalist, consumer sort of society, that we are very conditioned to be willing to buy items, products. and yet services somehow become questionable because they are less tangible. I also suspect that it's possible that some people who are a little more opposed to the selling of magical services, they maybe maybe some people out there have had bad experiences, or I've heard of others that have had bad experiences with either less qualified magical practitioners or outright scammers, and those same people just do not want to be ripped off, so therefore they shy away from hiring others to, you know, to cast or to provide certain services for them for hire. That's a shame too, if that's part of it, because a few bad apples should not ruin the bunch, and those people that provided scam services or less quality services should really not have been offering services in the first place. And that doesn't add to that doesn't benefit the community. What that does is it's part of the problem, because then it creates mistrust. It violates the trust and of clients, and it doesn't help them, it hurts them. If people have a need and they're coming to others for help with that need, whether it's a need to know about what their situation, so they need a reading, or and what to do, or if it's a need for, let's say, a healing session or some such thing, and then someone says, yes, I can provide that for you, and they're not well equipped to provide that, or they're purely lying, that person now still has the problem that they originally came forward with, and now they've been ripped off. So not only are they dealing with their situation in their own life that needs some remediation, but then also they're out however much money, and that's not fair. That's not fair, and it's not right. Now, my thoughts on the controversy around the selling of magical services set aside, at this point in the video, I would like to speak a little bit about myself in relation to this topic. I do happen to be a practitioner that sells magical services, but I don't hold my views because I am a magical practitioner that sells services. Rather, the opposite is true, because I believe the things that I do. That's what led me to sell magical services. My area of particular specialty happens to be in divination, and particularly within divination, tarot card readings. Tarot is just really my forte. I keep my prices extremely economical. I feel that there is a need to include and be accessible to people who don't have a lot of money but need help. So my readings, they go from anywhere from $3 up to $20, and that depends on how many cards are in a reading, how intricate and involved a reading is. Part of my personal philosophy is that we as human beings, we have a responsibility to help our fellow man, when and where we can. And I incorporate that into my selling of services, into my selling of spiritual and magical services, in that, while others, obviously in hiring me, while they help me with the, modest sums that I ask in exchange for my services, I in turn can also help them. I feel a lot of purpose in the in the services that I offer. When someone comes back to me and they tell me that I've helped them a great deal, when people come back and say, you lifted a weight off my shoulders, or you've given me some clarity on this, it really gives me a sense of purpose on earth. Like my life has so much more meaning. The topic of selling magical and/or spiritual services, it has a lot of facets and intricacies to it, and I doubt that any one person could possibly cover all aspects of this topic in the space of one video. However, I do hope that I at least brought forward some interesting and or relevant food for thought. If you have any questions, comments, thoughts, feelings, anything at all to, add, bring forward, whatever, in regard to this discussion, I welcome you. Please, put that in the comments below, and, I will do my best to address whatever you bring forth. Also, as always, I look forward to seeing and hearing what everyone else brings forward in this week in terms of their videos. What I have to bring forward, this is only one way of looking at it, so I do look forward to all that, and I do recommend that you be sure to tune in and see what everyone else brings forward. And all this considered, all this said, I wish you blessed be in Ashe. Have a wonderful Monday, and until next week, until our next exchange, bye for now.